Have you ever wondered what the greatest US coin of all time might be? And mind you, how would you even decide? What would the criteria be? Perhaps it would be the ultimate collector's coin, and since these coins are made specifically for collectors, proof coins might be the natural pick. And one of the rarest of these is the 1821 cap-bust half-eagle. Only 2 coins are known to exist, and one of those is in a permanent museum collection. There is also the elusive 1844 New Orleans Mint proof eagle and half-eagle coins, of which only one of each is known. And very few people even know about these, as neither has been seen on the market for decades, as both reside in private collections. Not quite as rare, but definitely more iconic, are the 1885 proof trade dollar coins, of which 5 examples are known to exist. But for my money, and this might be a bit of a hot take, is a modern proof coin in the form of the 2014 reverse proof silver Kennedy half-dollar coin, minted at West Point to mark the 50th anniversary of the release of the Kennedy half-dollars in 1964, and forms a part of one of my favorite commemorative sets from the US Mint. It's not rare at all, and not really even that valuable, selling for around $100 in even the highest of grades, but it is a good example of what the Mint can do if they actually try. There is a long history of commemorative coins too, even making coins to commemorate other coins, like the modern Morgan and Peace dollars, the 2024 gold flowing head dollar coin, or similar commemoratives like the 2009 ultra high relief double eagle, the 2014 Kennedy halves, or the 2016 Walking Liberty half dollar, Standing Liberty quarter, and Mercury dime anniversary coins. But of course, there are also more traditional commemorative coins, one of the first being the 1892 Queen Isabella quarter, minted to coincide with the Columbian Exposition, and along a similar vein the 1916 Pan-Pacific Exposition commemorative half-dollar and quarter eagle coins as well. More modern commemoratives include the 1982 George Washington half-dollar, which was the first commemorative coin to come from the US Mint after many decades of inactivity in that field, as well as the innovative bimetallic Library of Congress commemorative $10 coin, combining a gold outer ring with a platinum inner disc, as the US's first true bimetallic coin. But I think that one of the most enduringly popular commemorative coins falls into the commemorative half-dollar series, in the form of the Oregon Trail circulating commemorative half-dollar coin. Struck basically from 1926 through to 1939, it commemorates the pioneers that undertook the perilous journey west in search of a better life. In 2024, an NGC-graded MS-68 example of this coin was sold at auction for $3,840. Another unique category that might be considered as the greatest coins made are pattern coins. Here we see proposed coin designs that never made it into circulation or widespread release. In this category we see 19th century classics like the 1872 Amazonian princess designs from William Barber. There are also its contemporaries like the 1882 shield earring and the rarefied 1879 wash lady and schoolgirl dollar patterns as well. Coins that have never waned in popularity since becoming widely known. You could also easily consider more experimental or esoteric coins like the 1874 Bigfoot $10 that displays no fewer than 6 international currencies on its reverse design, trying to make international trade more accessible. And who can ignore the 1852 proposal for a ring golden dollar coin, an attempt to increase the overall size of the small gold dollar coin. But turning our attention instead towards the early mint, there are also noteworthy contenders like the 1792 Eagle on Globe pattern for a $quarter coin that we never got to see in circulation either. But surely the most iconic pattern coin out of them all has to be one of the very first, the iconic 1792 silver center cent, an innovative attempt to shrink the size of the copper cent down while still maintaining its intrinsic value by adding a small silver plug in the middle of the coin. Today, only 12 coins are known to have survived, and in 2021, a PCGS graded SP67 brown coin was sold at auction for the sum of $2,520,000. Surely, though, the most beautiful coin has to be in contention for the title as well. But, as they say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, making it a very difficult metric to really pin down. I've personally always been of the opinion that the coins of the early 20th century were the best-looking circulating coins ever. These include the Buffalo nickel from 1913 onwards, the Mercury dime, and Walking Liberty half-dollar coins all. But we definitely cannot forget about the 1907 Indian head gold eagle in the mix too. But of all of these, the most visually stunning coin is the Standing Liberty $quarter. Together with the rest of the circulating coins for this era, represent the peak of the neoclassical revivalist style that so dominated American art throughout the turn of the century, and acts as a critical counterpoint to the homogenized style of the barber coins that came just before. In 2021, a stunning example of this coin, graded as MS66 with full head details, was sold at auction for $96,000. But perhaps the best coin shouldn't just be the prettiest, but also one that has some staying power and be the most influential. Here, immediately the 1999 Delaware statehood quarter comes to mind. The state quarters cannot be easily dismissed. How many people were brought into the hobby because of this, or were brought back to coin collecting, searching through pocket change to try and complete a full set? Starting though in 1861, a number of pattern coins were created that for the first time included an inscription that read, "God Our Trust," including this unique 1863 $10. This would later be modified to the all too familiar "In God We Trust" that appears on coins to this very day. When gold was first discovered in California in 1848, it sparked a frenzy and set off one of the largest gold rushes in history. In December of that very same year, 228 ounces of freshly mined California gold made its way towards the Philadelphia Mint. Of this, 1,389 quartered eagles were minted, each dated as 1848 and stamped with a CAL or CAL on the reverse of the eagle's head, indicating their specified origins. The California Gold Rush set in motion a series of events that led inexorably towards the creation of the San Francisco Mint just a few years later, and this coin is therefore emblematic of that pivotal moment in US history. In 2022, a PCGS graded MS64 example of this fascinating and trend-setting coin was sold at auction for the sum of $552,000. But instead of something intentional, you always have those little oddities, errors, and variety coins that were never really supposed to be part of the plan. Variety coins like the 1918 over 7 Standing Liberty quarter, or the exact same overdate but this time from the Denver Mint showing up on the Buffalo nickel instead. Also, the 1817 over 4 Overton 102 variety for the cap-bust $half, and I can practically feel you screaming at me, what about the 1955 double-die obverse Lincoln cent here as well? To which I would answer, well, fair enough, but what about its cousin from 1958 as well? More egregious examples, or perhaps some of the more scarcer examples, also include the 1975 No S proof dime, or the very controversial 1974 aluminum cent, which is probably illegal to own if you happen to have one. But above all of these fantastical coins, there really is only one example that completely captures the spirit of this outlandish grouping, and that is the 1943 copper penny, struck by accident during the turmoil of the early 1940s on an older bronze planchet left over from the previous year, in a year which all pennies were supposed to be minted from zinc-coated steel planchets instead. Easily the most famous error coin that the mint ever created, the Denver Mint example of which was sold at auction in 2021, graded by PCGS as MS64 Brown for the sum of $840,000. But refocusing onto something a little more specific, perhaps the greatest coin can be one of the earliest coins produced. And here, America has a rich history of pre-federal coins minted well before the US Mint was ever even considered, starting with the Summer Island coins minted around or after 1616, after an English vessel was shipwrecked on what is modern-day Bermuda, on their way to the Virginia plantations in 1609. The Pilgrims made their own contributions to the early numismatic histories, with the pine, oak, and willow tree coins that could each quite justifiably top this list individually on merit alone. But the earliest coin struck under the authority of the United States as we know it was the 1778 Fugio cent, now considered as a federal contract coin, and would foreshadow or perhaps inspire the creation of the chain cent in 1793. But no coin is more emblematic of pre-federal or colonial America than the New England or NE coins from 1652. The shilling, of course, being the most ubiquitous of these rare coins. But the 3-penny coin is definitely the rarest, with only 2 examples known, minted by the Massachusetts Bay Colony of New England, considered as truly the first American coins minted on American soil for the exclusive use in the early colonies. In 2024, the only 1652 New England 3-penny in private hands was offered at auction, graded as EF45 by PCGS and sold for $2,520,000. But if we are looking at coins that are uniquely, distinctly, and unmistakably American, then territorial gold coins are just a thing. And the story of these coins is basically the story of the American gold rush. The first minted are the coins of Templeton Reed of Georgia in 1830, followed quickly by the Beckler coins from North Carolina in just the following year. The firm of Clark Gruber and Company, too, tried to capture the spirit of the Pikes Peak Gold Rush in Colorado with their iconic territorial coins. The Mormons of Utah, too, tried their hand at minting their own coins in the 1850s. But this was done mostly with California mined gold, which brings us then to the California Gold Rush, which has the most elaborate history of territorial gold. Excellent coins like the Kellogg and Company 1855 gold $50 coin stand out amongst these, alongside the hefty Assay Office $50 pieces that preceded the creation of the San Francisco Mint. But in this class, the Humbird $50 slugs are the very epitome of both California gold and territorial real entrepreneurial spirit that helped to tame the Wild West. In 2021, an 1851 example of this definitive type was sold at auction in a PCGS slab with a grade of MS62+ for a total of $480,000. And inspired by all of that glittering gold, the US has had some astounding gold coins to choose from as well. Starting with the early mint, the 1795 9 leaves gold eagle was one of the first gold coins to be struck by the fledgling mint, quickly then followed by the 1796 no stars obverse quarter eagle coin as well, either of which collectors would count themselves lucky to possess. The 1861 Paquet double eagles have become practically legend, and not to mention million-dollar coins in their own right. And in the same era, we also have the 1879 and 1880 Stellas. Both coiled hair and flowing hair versions of this enigmatic coin have managed to capture the imagination of the collecting community at large. Looking for 20th century examples, our gaze easily falls in a direction of the 1916 Panama Pacific commemorative $50 coins. Both the round and octagonal versions of the coin are highly sought after today by advanced collectors. And if we are looking for a truly modern coin, then there are 12 known surviving examples of the 2000 Sacagawea dollar coin minted in 22-karat gold, all of which flew in space aboard the Columbia Space Shuttle and today reside in Fort Knox for safekeeping. Now, picking a winner in this category is truly challenging, but the 1792 Washington President Gold Eagle pattern is a very strong contender. The coin is unique. As far as we know, only one exists, and is speculated to have actually belonged to George Washington himself. But if we are talking about gold, then ultimately, how can you not choose the progenitor of all American gold coins, the 1787 Brasher doubloon, specifically the New York-style doubloon minted by Ephraim Brasher, and in 2021, the finest known of only 7 extant coins like this was sold at auction. Housed in an NGC slab with the grade of MS65 star, it was able to attain a closing price at auction of $9,360,000. And if gold is out of reach, then silver is more attainable, though rare and important coins like the 1792 half diem would likely challenge that claim, as the first circulating coin minted by the US Mint, or the 1873 Carson City no arrows $quarter, a coin with only 4 or 5 examples known to exist, though the Gobrecht dollars of the 1830s can also challenge for position in this category and make a fairly strong showing. But if we are talking about the ultimate American silver coin, then the icon is and will likely remain the enduringly popular Morgan dollar, and the king of the Morgan dollars is the 1895 proof coin, with a mintage of only 880 coins and no circulating coins having ever surfaced. This coin is a must-have for anyone looking to complete a date run of Morgans. In 2024, a PCGS graded MS67 plus deep cameo example of this rare issue was sold at auction for no less than $324,000. And if we are looking specifically at gold and silver, then I suppose it's only fair to look at copper coins as well. Here we have more pre-federal coins like the various state issues, Vermont, Connecticut, and Massachusetts all issued small copper coins before the US Mint was created. And then there is also the varied New York coppers to add to that as well. Washington coppers are another fascinating aspect of the history that can be explored at considerable length, while more familiar issues like the flowing hair cent undoubtedly deserves a mention in this company as well. The greatest copper coin can also be the long-serving large cent in all its various guises, or the much more short-lived series like the 2-cent coin. But if you've been watching these videos for any amount of time at all, then it should come as little surprise that my pick for the greatest copper coin goes straight to the ubiquitous Lincoln cent. Despite a few reverse design changes over the years, the Lincoln cent has been in uninterrupted circulation since 1909, making it one of the longest-serving circulating coins in the world. In 2013, a 1958 double-die obverse Lincoln cent, graded as MS65 red, was even sold for $1,136,250. As we draw nearer to the end of this journey, it's time to look at more conventional definitions of what makes a great coin. There are what I like to call story coins. Coins that are not only rare, but also have a great story to tell. Coins that entire books have been written about. Here we have classics like the 1913 Liberty Head V nickel, with its mysterious origins, with only 5 coins that are known to exist. The 1894 S dime is another good example, as only 9 coins are known, even with its fabled ice cream story. You can also add to the mix here coins that have more serious origins, as the 1861 Lovett cent and its associated Confederate half-dollar coins can attest to, born instead of the chaos of the Civil War era. But the best story coin simply has to be the legendary 1804 Class 1 draped bust silver dollar, which was not, in fact, minted in 1804, but rather closer to 1834 as a part of a diplomatic presentation set ordered by President Andrew Jackson. Only 15 coins are known between all 3 classifications for this coin, and it is easily one of the best-known story coins in US history. In 2021, the Sultan of Muscat Pogue example was sold at auction. Graded as Proof 68 by PCGS, it secured a final price of $7,680,000. There are also those coins that are so rare that they almost become uncollectible as a result. These are coins that are unique, with only one example known to have survived. This is the 1877 Carson City No Arrow Seated Liberty dime. The 2 different 1877 half unions, or gold $50 coins, only one of each was minted, and both coins are currently curated by the Smithsonian as a part of the National Numismatic Collection. Similarly, the 1870 S 5-cent and gold $3, only one of each is known to exist, and these coins were linked to the corner laying ceremony of the old San Francisco Mint building in 1870. And to mention one more piece, there is the 1907 Indian Head Double Eagle pattern coin. We know that only one of these coins was minted at the request of Augustus St. Gordon, despite being technically no rarer than any of the coins just mentioned, with just a single coin known to exist. The 1849 gold double eagle is without a doubt the most desirable of all. Exactly how many were originally minted is unknown, but today the Smithsonian is safeguarding the only known example. It is estimated that this coin might be worth anywhere between $15 and $25 million were it to appear on the market today. which then neatly leads us right into the most expensive coins category. In this group, we have fantastically rare and popular coins like the 1927 D St. Gaudens Double Eagle, with a mintage of just 180,000 coins, and a PCGS graded example that sold in 2022 for $4,440,000. The 1804 Plain 4 Gold Eagle coin, a coin that was made purely for political reasons in 1834 and never entered circulation. As far as we can tell, only 4 coins were minted, and today only 3 remain extant. In 2021, one of these coins, which was graded as PCGS Proof 65 Plus Deep Cameo, was sold for $5,280,000. The 1822 Capped Head Left Half Eagle is one of the greatest rarities in American numismatics. In total, 3 examples are known, only one of which is in private hands. This coin was sold in 2021 in a PCGS slab with a grade of AU50 for $8,400,000. A coin that, at least for a few years, held the record as the world's most expensive coin is the original silver dollar, the 1794 flowing hair silver dollar, a true legend, and this example was sold at auction in 2013, graded as SP66 by PCGS when it sold for $10,016,875. But the world's current most expensive coin is a coin that has entrenched itself so deeply into the lexicon of American numismatics that every collector has by now heard its story, whether in full or simply in passing. The 1933 St. Gaudens Double Eagle, of which only a single coin is today legal to own. That coin was last sold in a special auction held by Sotheby's in 2021 for the astonishing amount of $18,872,250. But the greatest US coin of all time would surely have to be something that fits into, if not all, but then multiple of these categories at the same time. In this case, we have the 1776 Continental Dollar coin, and even though its origins have been called into question in recent years, it remains a keystone in the early story of American numismatics. Likewise, the 1783 Nova Constellation pattern coins are a fascinating look at the proposed coinage for the United States that was never to be, ranging from the smallest copper 5-unit coin to the larger 500-unit quint and the silver 1,000-unit coin. Similarly, the 1854 S Half Eagle checks multiple boxes. It is exceedingly rare, with only 4 coins known, one of which has been missing since 1967. It is a $1 million coin with a gripping story filled with intrigue, twists and turns, and laden with historical heft. Much the same can then again be said for the mythical 1964 D Peace Dollar, a coin that no one even knows if it really exists or not. But that's a story for a different day, because in my opinion, there truly and really is only one coin that stands above every single other American coin, and that is the 1907 Ultra High Relief St. Gaudens Double Eagle coin, of which only 22 examples were minted using multiple strikes of the mint's large metal press, before the relief was then lowered to allow for the coin to be made in larger quantities for circulation. But the ultra high relief coin was the ultimate vision of both the artist Augustus St. Gaudens, who designed the coin, and President Theodore Roosevelt, who initiated a program to beautify American coins. Taking inspiration from ancient Greek coins and gold statues of Alexander the Great, he wanted to make American coins the envy of the world, and this coin easily stands at the pinnacle of numismatic achievement for the US Mint. In 2023, a PCGS graded example of the inverted lettered edge variety of this coin, formerly of the landmark Harry Bass collection, was sold at auction, graded as proof 69 for the sum of $4,320,000. So, what do you think of these chosen coins? Let me know if you agree, or did I leave out your favorite coin? Alternatively, you can watch another video about the top 10 modern coins right here, next. For the World Numismatic News, I am Numisman saying thank you for watching, keep collecting, and have a fantastic day.